Imagine making more money in one single month online than you can in an entire year at a traditional job. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it isn't, and I'm proof of that. I went from fixing toilets to making $15,000 this month from my laptop. Here's a crazy story of how I ditched the plunger for good. Look, I'm not about to rent a sports car and pretend I made a fortune overnight, but building a real online business, it's work. But a few years ago, I traded in a boss telling me what to do for the ability to decide my own schedule. Grocery run at 2 p.m., gymnastics, done. Let's be honest, that's priceless. College? Nah, felt like forced paths. None of them mine. The thing is, I already knew how to fix stuff, make life easier, but I just didn't know how to turn that into a living. So yeah, you can guess where I ended up, 18 years old, up to my elbows in someone else's drained water. Thought, there has to be a better way. Knee deep in someone else's mess. Everyone's saying, be grateful for any job. Yeah, I was, but that wasn't my dream. I always fixed stuff, made things work, but mostly for other people. I grew up figuring it out, never taking handouts, but it was time to build something of my own. Stick with me and I'll show you exactly how I transitioned from the hard labor of plumbing to the financial freedom of running my own online business. So, hey, welcome to Dreaming Digital. I'm Michael, and today I've got a wild story to share with you. Picture this, years back, covered in grime, wrench in hand, fixing leaky faucets and clogged toilets across New York. Yeah, my early days were spent working alongside my dad. He's a master plumber, and I learned a lot about hard work, but I also learned about how much I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. So how did I go from that, the daily grind of manual labor, to sitting here talking to you as my own boss? Well, it started with something as simple as flipping items on eBay. You know, finding stuff that people think is trash, but you see potential in. Little did I know those small flips were just the beginning. They sparked a flame, an idea that maybe, just maybe, I could take control of my life and career in ways I never thought were possible. I mean, come on. Back then, if you had told me that one day I'd make more in 1 month from my online business than I would in a whole year of plumbing, I'd have laughed you out of the room. But here I am, and that's exactly what happened. Trust me, it wasn't overnight, and it wasn't easy, but it was definitely worth it. So stick around, because today I'm not just sharing my story. I'm here to show you how you can maybe do the same. How you can turn what seems like mundane, everyday skills into a thriving online business. So let's break down how I transformed my life, step by step, and how you can start thinking about doing the same. Ready to get into it? Let's go. My journey is one of transformation, perseverance, and a little bit of digital magic. So let's rewind the tape all the way back to the beginning. Picture me as a scrawny teenager. Maybe not scrawny, I was a bit overweight. Tagging along with my dad, tough as nails master plumber on job sites throughout New York City. And that work was no joke. Imagine me, this kid, wrestling with pipes and wrestling even harder with rusty fixtures and toilet bowls, all in these cramped, barely lit corners of old city buildings. I mean, just the smell alone, you can tell that they were old. And while my muscles got a workout, it was really my mind that was doing the heavy lifting. I was constantly feeling this tug, this gnawing sense inside that I was meant for something else. Something that didn't involve being wedged behind a toilet bowl or crawling underneath sinks. I knew I wanted more. I just didn't know what it was. Now, fast forward through a few grueling years of manual labor, I'm standing there, a newly married man, and boom, I stumble into what seemed just a way to make a few extra bucks. I actually started flipping stuff I found thrown out at these same job sites. A dusty old book here, sometimes a first edition, a forgotten antique toy there. Might not sound like a lot, but each sale on eBay was like a small victory. And eventually these little victories started adding up, and before you know it, they were pointing me towards the crazy potential of running an online business. But here's the kicker. My wife, who I had just married, was already into this flipping game even before we met. She was out there hustling just like me, finding treasures in other people's trash and turning them into cash on eBay. Imagine that. Turns out I married the perfect partner in both life and business. Together, we started thinking bigger, like why stop at a few random items when this could be something huge? So we began scaling up, getting more and more strategic about what we picked and sold. Slowly but surely, the side hustle started to look more like a real business. And it's funny, looking back now, how those small steps laid the groundwork for everything that came after. It wasn't just about making money, it was about shaping the future, not settling for a life that didn't fit what we dreamed of. And guys, believe me when I say this, if a couple of regular New Yorkers like us could start from hauling old pipes and turn it into a thriving online empire, then really, what's stopping anyone from chasing that kind of change? Let me take you through every twist and turn of this journey, from the streets of New York to the digital highways of e-commerce. So as we got deeper into this whole reselling game, my wife and I decided to take a crack at a platform called Poshmark. Seemed like a good idea at the time, but boy, things ramped up pretty quickly, and suddenly we're drowning in clothes, accessories, you name it. The more we sold, the more there was to do. It was like every time we emptied the basket, 2 more baskets took its place. We were swamped, like seriously swamped. And that's when it hit me. There had to be a better way to handle all of this. The constant sharing, the endless organizing, it was nuts. I mean, Poshmark makes you share your items to your followers, and you have to do that multiple times a day. It's extremely time consuming. Plus, you need to follow other people, you need to relist your items, send out offers. It's a constant game where your eyes are just glued to your phone or your computer all day. And that's when it hit me. Like, there had to be a better way to handle all this. Like, we were up to our eyeballs in tasks, and it was just sucking up all of our time. And that's when the light bulb went off. What if we didn't have to do all of this manually? What if there was a way to automate all these mind-numbing tasks? Now, here's the kicker. I'm not a tech wizard at all. My expertise was pipes, fittings, and manual labor, not software and coding. But I've got this philosophy, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. So I hit up Fiverr. I knew about Fiverr through Facebook ads at the time, and it was a pretty new platform where a lot of people were getting things done and they didn't have to do it themselves. It's called freelancing, hiring a freelancer. And it's also, Fiverr is somewhere you go when something is extremely out of your league and you do not know how to do it. So there I found this brilliant developer, and his name is Umair. This guy was the real deal. Together, we started sketching out what this dream tool of ours might look like. It wasn't easy. I mean, trying to explain what you need when you barely know yourself is like a comedy show waiting to happen. But this guy, Umair, really got it. We built it. And so we built it. This tool, this amazing piece of software. It started handling all the repetitive stuff on Poshmark for us. Managing listings, you name it. Software took care of it. And just like that, our lives changed. No more late nights just clicking away. No more weekends lost to the Poshmark abyss. This tool didn't just revolutionize our business, gave us our lives back. And let me tell you, that's the kind of change you cannot put a price on. So here's the scoop. Umair, my wife, and I, we ended up being the pioneers here. We were the first to roll out an automation software specifically for reselling on platforms like Poshmark. Cool, right? But let me tell you, being first isn't all high fives and victory laps. It's more like being the first penguin to dive off the iceberg, scary and full of unknowns. Introducing this kind of tech to the public was like steering a ship through a storm. Not smooth sailing, not by a long shot. We had bugs popping up left and right, people doubting us every step of the way, and oh man, the nights filled with doubt, they were real. They really were. There were times we'd sit there wondering if we'd bitten off more than we could chew. But here's the thing about hitting roadblocks. Each one teaches you something. With every bug that drove us nuts, every skeptic who challenged us, we learned. We kept tweaking, adjusting, and refining that tool until it became something solid, something dependable. We didn't just patch things up. We turned our software into a powerhouse. Trust me, every late night, every moment of frustration, it was worth it to see our tool evolve, getting better and stronger right before our eyes. So guess what happened next? We took our shiny new tool and introduced it to a few niche Facebook groups. Let me tell you, the response was like setting off fireworks in a quiet neighborhood. It was explosive. All of a sudden, we weren't just another couple trying to sell stuff online. We became trailblazers, tackling a huge, throbbing pain point for thousands of resellers just like us. But here's the real kicker. The thing that really matters at the end of the day was all about how we did it. We weren't out trying to make a quick buck. No, we focused on creating real, tangible solutions for real problems. Our whole ethos, our entire mission was about adding value. We believe deep down that success isn't just measured by the cash you make, but by the difference you make. That shift in focus, it changed everything. It wasn't just about automating stuff anymore. It was about empowering people, about giving back time and peace of mind to people who were just like us, struggling to keep up with the demands of their businesses. We were making a splash, not because we wanted to be rich, but because we genuinely wanted to help people thrive. So here's where things get really wild. Success of our software eventually made my day job look like a bad joke. I mean, why spend hours wrestling with pipes when my software was practically printing money? It was both exhilarating and a bit scary to dive fully into. It was such a new venture to me. But here's the thing, my little side hustle, which I started between dodging leaky faucets and clogged drains, had blossomed into a full-on business empire. And that just goes to show, with the right amount of grit and pinch of madness, you can really turn your life upside down in a good way. Now, why am I telling you all of this? It's not just to brag about escaping the clutches of endless plumbing puns. I mean, there are only so many times you could hear, "This job's going down the drain," before you lose it. No, I'm here to light a fire under you. Whether you're scribbling down business ideas on napkins, you're already knee-deep in entrepreneurial trenches, remember this: every empire starts as a scribble. Every giant leap starts with a shaky first step. If a guy like me, who used to think success was finding matching socks in the morning, can leap from the world of pipes and wrenches to rocking the digital marketplace, then why not you? So what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Maybe share a pun or two of your wild journey. And let's kickstart our dreams together. Do you have any business ideas? What is your passion? I want to hear about it. Put it in the comments. Let's kickstart our dreams together. Stay tuned, because here at Dreaming Digital, we're just getting started. You won't want to miss what's coming next. It's gonna be epic, or at least better than another day in the trenches.